Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm, of course, your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about what is, in my opinion, the most influential groups of vehicles at Tier 10, and that would be the light tanks. Now, light tanks have fantastic capabilities because of their camouflage. A vehicle like the Vickers Light has 31% camouflage, and it has the best view range in the game. The Sheridan has 25% camoufage, and the Batchat 25 ton has 31% as well. Now, the camouflage on these vehicles gives you the ability to run around the map, and of course with light tanks, unlike mediums, when you're sitting still or moving in any light tank, you have the same camouflage as both values. So it's 31% and 31% for the Batchat, compared to a vehicle like the Patton, where it's probably 25% and then 18% when you're moving. So that is one of the major disadvantages for mediums over lights, is the fact that they don't have the camouflage. The next thing, of course, for light tanks is their mobility. Fantastic mobility going for them. You know, this tank's able to go 65 kilometers per hour with an average top speed of 43. Super fast vehicle, fantastic traverse speed. So the Vickers Light is an incredibly mobile tank. So that's also another fantastic thing going for it. And light tanks don't carry bad guns at all. I mean, the Vickers Light, the gun is not as good as medium tanks, and this is where the issues of lights do arrive, where the Vickers Light has about 3,000 DPM. And don't get me wrong, that was very strong when the vehicle first came out. But once again, Wargaming has shown really how strong power creep is, and vehicles like, the M6 Yo that have 3,000 DPM, I mean, these are heavies that have 3,000 DPM. And then you go over to mediums, and vehicles like the Leopard 1 have 3,600 DPM, vehicles like the E50M now have 32, 3,300, M48 Patton, 3,500. I mean, vehicles keep getting more and more damage per minute, and the Vickers Lights kind of stayed the same. So that is a bit of an issue, but for the most part, it's still a super strong tank. Anybody that knows how to play the tank knows that it does a super solid job. So let's get into position here. I'm going to get into this bush, try and spot some enemy opponents, see what we can do here. Speed is key. I actually saw comments on one of my videos about how people shouldn't be sitting in this bush because it's a camping bush for only tank destroyers. No, that's not true. This bush here is probably the best spot on Naval Frontier in the game. You should always go here, no matter what tank you're in. Maybe not a mouse, but for the most part, I usually go to this bush because it lets you spot enemy opponents. And having spots on the enemy team is fantastic because, well, you can see I just spotted 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks without really losing anything myself. And that is a fantastic spot. Then you can either push your heavy tank that way or that way. Having the opportunity to flex on a slow heavy tank is much more influential than just going to heavy route and then losing all your hit points or not doing anything because you decided to go there. So, yeah. But either way, I'm going to push my tank off to the side. Oh, there's a Conway. Not a tank I maybe want to completely play with here, but maybe we can get a shell in. Hello, Mr. Conway. Oh, and there's that standard B from before. There's a nice tap into the standard B. Yes, T-54, please come and help me. I would really appreciate that. That would be super nice. T-54, please. Oh, God, he's not really helping me here. Well, I'm in a bit of an issue, aren't I? There's the Conway off to the side, and he did get a nice tap into me. Now, I do know that the Conway is carrying a decently strong gun, but if I put on my adrenaline here, we should be able to get another tap into him and back up. But, I mean, for the most part, I have to be very careful here. There's another nice tap into that Conway. Yes, T-54, please. Oh, God, and there's the standard B getting nice shelled out. Let's back up before I lose all of my hit points to that standard. Hello. All right, now let's see if we can get a shell into the standard B. I mean, unfortunately, my team is once again they're just not doing good. I mean, I meant once again, but yeah, I played a game before that you guys could not see that my team didn't do great either. And of course, that standard B max rolls me. Wow, that really hurt me. That Leopard 1 is staying in that bush there. I don't really want to mess with that guy, should I say? That's a terrible idea for me currently. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to push off to the side here, and we're going to see if I can get some shells in. Ooh, there's that Leopard over here. Maybe we can get a nice tap into that Leopard. There you go, nice tap for 400 hit points there. I'll take it. You know what? It hurt him quite a bit, and that T-54 is hopefully going to try and get some shots into that guy as well. So let's see. Is that Leopard 1 going to try and back off? Ooh, and yeet. There you go. Leopard 1 is taken out. So, I mean, this is the perfect game where I use my mobility to my advantage. I was able to take out that Conway, who weirdly pushed his tank in a spot that didn't really help him all too much. Now we can get some shots into the side of the IS-4 over here. There's a nice tap there. I mean, this was a great game to show where the Vickers Light really is in its own element, because it does a fantastic job Not to mention, it actually has decent armor as well. For a light tank, I mean, you can get some very troll bounces out. But this was 4,000 damage, right? I was able to go to that bush, spot the enemy team crossing, and not only was I able to spot the enemy team crossing, but then I was able to use that knowledge to my advantage and either push to the medium side or the heavy side, depending on which way the enemy team goes. Now, as I said, for me personally, I'll always go to that bush in any tank, and this is advice for anybody out there. Go to that bush if you're in a decently mobile heavy tank. If you're in a, let's say, WC-111 5A, IS-7, IS-4, go to that bush. Spot the enemy team. Not only will you sometimes get a free shot off onto somebody that's crossing, but as well, you can then end up winning the game by knowing if the enemy team's going to push medium side, you can support your mediums. Or, if they go heavy side, you can support your heavies. But now, let's of course break onto the Sheridan. Now, the Sheridan is basically a T-49 that was beefed up on accuracy and brought up to tier 10. It's got some great figures going for it. It's got big alpha, 560 damage per shot, fantastic mobility, actually more than the Vickers Light on effective power to weight ratio. But the issue with the Sheridan is, first of all, it's not a super accurate gun. While it is more accurate than the T-49, I mean, that's not much to go off of, right? Yeah, so this gun at, I would say, 200 to 250 meters away is going to miss half of its shells, which isn't great. So that's not a good thing about the tank. Not to mention, the other issue with the Sheridan is the fact that its camouflage is 25-26% on move and sitting still, compared to the 31% that is on the Vickers Light. So it is a big disadvantage for the Sheridan over the Vickers Light on that specific aspect. But Alpha obviously also gives you the advantage of, boom, one snap into the enemy, backing in the cover. And that's nice because, you know, you can easily out-trade heavy tanks. Let's say I poke an M103. Even if the guy hits me for 400 damage, I'm still dealing 160 more with a standard shell. That's a lot of damage, of course. The enemy team has a Vickers Light, a Progetto 65, and a Skoda T50. And I'm going to poke this really aggressively using my mobility. Oh, wow, there's a Vickers Light, and oof. Yep, there's a perfect example of missing a very, very easy shot. Now, the Progetto is probably going to end up pushing this very aggressively if I don't get out of here. So I'm going to try and get out of here as quickly as possible. Yeah, unfortunately, just that Vickers was able to get hull down, and as I said, the accuracy on the Sheridan is literally none. So trying to get a shot out with the Sheridan is not the easiest thing. But in this scenario, because our team is basically screwed on medium side, I mean, you can see just looking at how we have no medium tanks. It's not good. I mean, they've got a Progetto, they got a Vickers Light, which is going to work together well in a platoon. We're really on a disadvantage here, especially judging that our team's not even winning the mobile side. So I'm going to aim in on the C3. Maybe we can pen the shell. Oh, come on. That went exactly where it needed to, and it still didn't pen. Oh, this is not good. This is really, really bad, and my Tortoise just poked that and lost all of his health. I mean, this is where disadvantages are going to occur with the Sheridan. There's a nice HE, but I mean, that's not going to do much, right? That's just going to deal 200 damage to the E3. Not the most is going to do much to his tank. What we do have here is this M103 basically YOLOing him, so hopefully we should be able to get a nice shot into the M103. There you go. 500 and a lot of damage, should I just say. But now we got the Skoda trying to kill me, so I'm going to drive away from the Skoda. I do have the advantage of Alpha. Again, you know, Alpha is great. Being able to out-trade the Skoda is going to give me a big advantage. And in fact, I'm going to use that advantage right here. There you go. Nice tap into the Skoda. Let's back up before this guy's able to hit me again. Just keep on backing up. And I don't know if this guy has 3 shells. I don't really know what he's doing, to be exact. I'm just going to drive away. I think he's actually reloading, which is great for me, because now I'm just going to get another tap into the Skoda. There you go. 623, and 1 more shell, and that guy's dead. I mean, that's great. Being able to do that to a tier 9, tier 10 opponent is fantastic, using your alpha to your advantage. So that guy may be an autoloader, but he didn't really use his autoloading capabilities. Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. Don't tell me I just lost. Okay, thank god he's shooting HE. He's not a good player, but yeah. Oh, that guy had like 470, 80 health, and I low-rolled it so bad. Wow, this game really hates me, doesn't it? Alright, let's try this again. Let's load in an HE shell. And there you go. Now the Skoda is taken out. Much better for me. I really can't believe that that shell low-rolled him that much. That is so sad. Either way, we are still doing okay. I mean, we used our alpha to our advantage here, which is great, you know. I'm able to nice shells into the enemy there, and maybe we can get some nicer shells into a vehicle like this Progetto off to the side here. Let's aim in on him, and let's just tap him. There you go. 646. He didn't even pen me, and now we just drive away. And this is where the Sheridan does so well, is because I'm out-trading them. I mean, that's a tier 10 medium, and he did nothing to me, and I hit him back way, way harder. I mean, this Progetto just... what? Okay, you know what? No, you're dying. You are dying, my good sir. Yeah, goodbye. Wow, this gun today did not like me. But again, it's a good gun. It struggles, as you saw, on a lot of shots. I mean, we low-rolled a couple, we had some very unfortunate misses, but for the most part, we still broke 3,000 damage, and it wasn't even hard to break 3,000. Would a Vickers Light have done better? Most likely. I mean, in that scenario, that Skoda was not a fantastic player, and because of that low roll, I mean, that Skoda normally would have taken off 2 more shells from us, but for the most part, the tank did well, did its job, and you can clearly see where I was able to take advantage of the disadvantage our team had in the first place. I mean, I was using my camouflage, almost being like a tank destroyer on the back of the map, right? That M103 pushed up, bam, nice 500, 600 damage shot into the side of his turret. We would have hopefully been able to pen that E3 if it came to it, but yeah, unfortunately, even though the shot went exactly where I wanted it to, it just didn't, I guess, pen that spot that it said it could. But for the most part, it worked great. I mean, we used that camouflage, we used the mobility, and everything went well. That is the Sheridan for you. That was a weird game. Not every game is like that, but it shows you how camouflage and mobility are fantastic. Now, the Batchat is a take that I'm not going to be putting into today's video, just because the Batchat is not really like a light tank. I mean, it is. It's definitely a light tank. You know, you got the camouflage, you got the mobility, but the Batchat is more like, it's weird because, you know, it's a mobile tank destroyer. It's got a 3-shot gun, 900 damage in a clip, but it can't do anything the other lights can do. I mean, the Sheridan and the Vickers can both brawl with mediums. You saw there clearly. I could easily get a shell into that the Progetto in my Sheridan, and boom, you know, out-trade him and back in the cover, and that's brawling with a medium. The Vickers Light can easily brawl with mediums because it's got good turret armor, decent troll armor itself, so it's good that these two tanks can do that, where the Batchat can't. I mean, it doesn't have gun depression, it has no armor, and its clipping potential is only good if you're able to get a clip out. I mean, single shot damage is way worse than any other tier 10 in the game. So the Batchat's great, but it's got massive disadvantages going for it. I love it, but I hate it. Let me know what you guys think about the Sheridan and the Vickers Light in the comments down below. Hopefully, all of you enjoyed today's video, and you'd like to see more like it. Other than that, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.